Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ZAM community webinar today. We're excited. The ZAM program stands for the Zeppelin Agency Membership Program, and we're excited to share more about that with you. But first off, a very warm welcome to our community of digital agencies. Now, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the Zeppelin product, but you may not be quite as familiar with our journey and the crew that brought you this product. So in 2014, our four co-founders in Istanbul, developers and designers, had this problem of how to work together to bring products to life. And to solve that problem, they built Zeppelin. And turns out this problem was faced by a lot of other people. In the first week of launching their app, 6,000 users had signed up. And that growth continued as they joined Y Combinator in San Francisco in 2015 and had 20,000 users as they grew through their beta program. And right up to today, we've got 4 million users that are part of the Zeppelin community, and that continues to grow. We've got offices in San Francisco and London and Istanbul, and in 2020 alone, we had over 75 million designs published by the 30,000 plus product teams that are leveraging Zeppelin as part of their workflow. And we've stayed true to our founders' vision of delivering on the promise of design. And delivering on the promise of design is taking all of the brainstorming and the creativity that goes into the design process and combining that with the realities of development and bringing those designs to life. And we do that through four main pillars. Handoff, which is publishing your finalized designs for your team. Collaboration, allowing everybody on your team from PMs to designers, QA, to come together and collaborate in one single workspace. Style guides, which help you to scale the impact of your design systems. And finally, an open platform so that you can customize Zeppelin to fit the workflow that works best for you and your team. And we have some amazing teams using Zeppelin to bring products to life, whether that's Salesforce and Atlassian to Starbucks and Disney, and a huge community of digital agencies around the globe, right up to the largest systems integrators in the world. And finally, that brings me on to today's session. I'm joined by the rest of the amazing Zeppelin partner crew. We've got Neil, Karina, and Mallory. Myself and Neil will be in the chat, so feel free to say hello, ask any questions that you might have. And Karina and Mallory will be doing a deep dive. First over to Karina, we'll be walking through the Zeppelin Agency Member Program, and then over to Mallory for a tech session, giving some tips and tricks on how to optimize your Zeppelin workspace as an agency. And finally, I'll close out the session with a link to get started and join the ZAM family and get the most out of Zeppelin. So Karina, over to you.
Thanks, Matt, and hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today to share more about our Zeppelin Agency Membership Program. We call it ZAM. And what is ZAM? It's a global community program available to all digital agencies to help you get the most out of Zeppelin. And you might be asking, why do we focus on digital agencies? Why are agencies important to us? Well, firstly, a large portion of our users around the world work for or in agencies. And our experience of working with agencies is that you often become evangelists for Zeppelin as you're, with clients on a daily basis, showing and teaching them how to use Zeppelin and best practices. And they really trust you in terms of choosing the best tools for the job. And all of these are ways that you are evangelizing Zeppelin. And we want to say thank you and ensure that you've got access to all the resources you need to really be successful in that endeavor. And finally, we really value design and the importance that design delivery has as part of the process in creating beautiful products. And as agencies, we know that you have a very high bar of design excellence. And so by fostering this community, we hope to continue to improve the quality of design that we use on projects that are using Zeppelin. And so you're probably wondering, how is being part of ZAM going to benefit me, my agencies, and also my customers? Well, there are kind of three main value pillars that digital agencies can access from ZAM. And these are: one, storytelling and showcasing the great work that you do; two, supporting your agency to be successful with Zeppelin; and finally, empowering you and your team from a technical enablement perspective. And I'll bring these to life a bit more in this next section by double-clicking on each one. So what do we mean when we talk about storytelling? Well, as we're all familiar with, storytelling can really help turn a brand into a legacy and win the loyalty and affection of audiences. For agencies like yourselves that have taken the time and due diligence to choose Zeppelin as part of your stack and workflow with your customers and projects, we're always keen to help bring those stories to life. We'd love to work with you on case studies. And here's an example of one we partnered on with Somo Global and their work with Audi to build out a global design system using Zeppelin. We're also interested in doing things like joint blogs and articles that offer a platform to showcase your technical expertise and thought leadership content. And finally, we've launched a YouTube series we call ZAM Jams, where we talk to agencies about a particular theme or topical area that might be trending across the industry. For example, here you can see a screenshot from our latest ZAM Jam with Remotion and Bottle Rocket. Moving on to the second pillar, this is all about how we can support you to grow with Zeppelin, enabling both your agency and your customers to use Zeppelin in the way that you need it to. As evangelists of Zeppelin with your customers who trust you to be making the best choices to ship beautiful products with them, we've developed a couple of models to help your customers adopt Zeppelin and remove any friction or barriers that may arise along the way. So firstly, we can spin up trials of our enterprise plan for your customers in a kind of try before you buy model. This will allow your valued customers to get stuck in with you in their own workspace and start realizing the capabilities of Zeppelin in terms of handoff features, collaboration, as well as the extensibility functions, for example. And what's great about this approach is that we can offer your biggest customers the option to try Zeppelin initially with the expectation that if it's something that they want to continue using for the future, that they convert to a paid subscription. But as the introducing agency, you and your team can continue working in that project workspace for the entire duration of the project without any limitation. The second approach we've created is more of an incentive-based model, whereby your agency would receive a rebate on any new customer referrals you make that procure either the Zeppelin organization or enterprise plan. This gets credited to your Zeppelin account as soon as the purchase has been completed, so you can realize the benefits immediately. We've spent time building out both of these options for you in consultation with agencies from across our community. And so we're really excited to be able to reward agencies and your customers in the right way that works best for you both. We're also very conscious, though, of your own investment with Zeppelin and understand that there has been some change to our packages, which, like everything, continues to evolve over time. So we're here as your agency success team to help guide you through the options as and when you need it and make sure you're on the most suitable Zeppelin plan for what you need. And that kind of brings us to our third pillar, which is really focused on how we empower you and your teams, regardless of the role or discipline, to get the most out of Zeppelin from a technical perspective. Our roadmap is continuously being updated. And so with it, we're always focused on continuous improvement with new features being released regularly, along with integrations and updates. As a product that's grown from being a community-led seed, we want to create a two-way dialogue with users. And being part of ZAM gives you a channel to share what you like, also what might not be working, what you'd like to see in terms of product capability moving forward. So you really have an opportunity to influence the future of Zeppelin. We also have a dedicated success team who are on point to give you the support when you need it by a human whose role it is to help you if you ever run into any challenges or have questions that you need answering. We're here to connect you with that team at any time and can also look at facilitating demos or product walkthroughs for you. And finally, we want to give you sneak peeks and access to the latest updates, features, and integrations so that you are always up to date. And we want to give you a little bit of a taster of what that feels like. So as I wrap up this section, I'm going to hand over to the awesome Mallory Wood, one of our customer success advocates, to take you through that. Thank you. Over to you, Mallory.
Thanks, Karina. Hey everybody, my name's Mallory and I'm the ZAM Customer Success Advocate here at Zeppelin. And what gives me that position is, previously to this, I was actually a user interface designer. And I have a history of working at both enterprise companies and creative agencies. So places with lots of clients, lots of products, and as a result, lots of Zeppelin projects and lots of screens. When I was at these agencies, I really championed organizing our Zeppelin. In fact, I did this so much and so often that eventually Zeppelin gave me this job so I could be here today to tell you all about it. As companies' project numbers increase, we get more clients asking us for tips on how to organize everything. Common challenges of an expanding workspace include time lost having to look for the correct projects and screens, difficulty tracking where work is in the production pipeline, difficulty agreeing the most up-to-date designs, and the outcome of all of this is more time spent double guessing, is less time spent designing and developing the final product. So having ongoing good organizing habits makes everything better. Less time spent by teams searching through screens means more time for them to do their job. It makes teams more accountable and reliable. It practically removes the need for hand-holding, and the look of the final outcome reflects all of this, looking like how the designer wanted it to. Now, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution to organizing, but in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to take you through a potential user case scenario that will demonstrate some of the organizing and documenting features in Zeppelin, along with some practices I recommend. This is going to include arranging some projects in a very messy organization workspace, the ultimate importance of naming conventions, which you're going to see from beginning to end, organizing screens into sections, using that naming convention, how to get the most out of tagging screens, and also throughout I'll be documenting my work using our Jira integration. So now that's all said, let's jump in. I've got here our demo workspace available, our Game of Thrones incorporated organization. And this isn't unlike a lot of agency workspaces I've been in before, which is there's this nice layer of organized projects at the top. And then as we go down, we start getting into the projects of yesteryear, which perhaps haven't found themselves a home in any section yet. So today we're going to be doing work on our Premier Travel app. And so to start talking about my naming conventions, a while ago I decided that all of our Premier Travel app is going to have a prefix of PTA. So by searching PTA in the search bar, I've immediately brought up all of our projects. So I'm going to select both of those and we're going to get a new section. I'm going to add that prefix, PTA, Premier Travel app. Excellent. And here are our first documenting opportunities. So we have a description to begin with. So the description, like much of Zeppelin, is ad hoc, so you can use it how you want. But what I like to use for a description is sort of a very short description of what the project is, and then a list of sort of who's accountable, so who you could reference to in the future. So that's added in there. We also have the opportunity to add any links which might be related to the project. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add our client brief, which is a Dropbox paper document. I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to add the GitHub repository that we've saved, that we've put aside for our developers to work in. GitHub. So those are both added in there. So those are nice, easy, quick links off as well. Now, you might have noticed that our projects have very similar names. And the reason for that is one of these is actually going to be our review project, and one of these is going to be our approved for the development projects. So this one on the left is my in review project, and I'm using these status labels to sort of mark the readiness, but you can use these however you want, and whether that might be, you might be assigning a department using them, or sort of talking about what period these products are designed to be released for. It's really how you want to use these. So let's go into our in review project. Now, I've already got something I don't like the look of here, which is a lot of unorganized screens. So I've got 73 screens here with no sections or tags, and in the next few minutes I'm going to power through and organize all of these. But before I do that, I'm going to just talk about some integrations. So I've got my Slack integration turned on here, and it's married up to my personal messaging on Slack. And that means that if there are any screens added, any screens deleted, colors added, or sort of any notes or messages that go in here, I'm going to be messaged directly. which is really useful if you're working at quite a fast pace on a project. I'm also going to add this project to the Jira epic I've got to one side at the moment. So I've got the Zeppelin integration enabled on Jira, and I just go to Attach from Zeppelin, Projects, and oh, it's there at the top. Awesome. Premier Travel App for review. Awesome, so that's here, and they can link straight to it. And you'll see that ticket there. So I'm able to link straight back to that from Zeppelin as well. Now, I've written in some project rules. All screens must be in sections, which already isn't happening, so let's work to fix that. Add any tags you want. I really do think that everyone should have the power to add tags so they can sort of navigate Zeppelin however they want. And lastly, ask me for help. If you do have the resources, or you have a veteran of a project or a veteran of your Zeppelin, it could be good to have someone to help you look around if something does go astray. I've also then got two abbreviations. So we've got AB, amend bookings, and CAMB, create account mid bookings. Now, these are start of our naming conventions in project. Now, if you look at these screens, you can see a naming convention in play. I'm going to show you how that naming convention is going to help us. So, a naming convention is super important for getting everything organized correctly. So this is the naming convention that we have in play here. The user journey, which is the abbreviation, so AB, amend booking, for example. The title on the screen, so that's actually a visual cue that takes us back to the screen. The user, and this is important if you have a admin view, or you have a signed in view or a signed out view. The variant, which is a special field which I use for for selecting when a screen perhaps has a native component, like a modal or a search category. And then the page values are added in camel case, so you can stack lots of page values. And what these are descriptors of what's going on in that page. It is the logic of that page. And then lastly, the width, so we can start mapping out our breakpoints. So let's look at some examples using that naming convention. So our first one here is actually customize your stay. Now, we know it's part of the amend booking user journey. The title on the screen is customize your stay, which we can see there. Now, there isn't any particular user case for this, so there might just be one user, or all users see the same screen. And this isn't a variant screen either, so it's gone straight to the page values. And the page values are 2 rooms, meals added, room 2, followed by the width. So this naming convention is actually giving me a description and telling me everything I need to know about this page. Let's look at another one. So booking details, live booking flex. Now this actually tells me that this screen isn't a part of any user journey, so it goes straight over to the booking details. Again, no user and no variant, so straight to the page values. And that's why this name is so small. Lastly, we've got AB alert remove room 1. Now, this is part of the AB amend booking journey again, but actually there's no title on this screen. There's no user, so this has gone straight to variant. So this is an alert or a modal or something native, and then we've got the page values, so remove room 1. So based on these, we can start sorting, and we can also kind of predict alternatives like remove room 2 or 1 rooms rather than 2 rooms. So that being said, let's start organizing these into sections. Now, I've already got the journeys in place, so I don't necessarily need those, but I do have lots with similar room titles, so let's work that way. So I'm going to find all my review and book screens. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a section for them. Now I'm going to go through and group put these all into sections in, I reckon, 1 minute and 30 seconds. So it actually took me 1 minute and 45 seconds actually to sort all that 72 screens into the sections based on their names. So now we've got them all into sections, we're actually able to start doing the second form of grouping everything up inside of our project, and that's tags. Now, tags are ad hoc, so are super customizable in how everyone can use them. Now, I've got one obvious tag. We've got 2 obvious tags already available to us, which are the amend booking, which we said about earlier. So I'm going to add tag flow amend booking. We're going to add that to these. And then also CAMB. So select all of those up. Add tag. Flow. Create account. Mid-booking. Mid-booking. Awesome. So now we've got not only everything grouped up together in the naming sections, but we can also then tag in between what belongs to which journeys. Now, these are only two obvious tags we've got here, but I can see more appearing, such as 2 rooms and sort of the logic in each one. So I'm going to go away and create some more tags. And there we go. I've added some tags based on the options I've found here. I've also added a few others, such as what's in review and what's been perhaps approved for the development. And the great thing about the tags is it lets you to really look through things at a faster pace. And also by combining them by holding shift, you can start testing logic. So for example, in the add more meals section, you see times 1 room, 2 adults, under 16s. So that's one way of organizing your Zeppelin projects. Now I just need to get my change meals and attach it to my ticket. So I'm going to copy that web link. I'm going to go over to my Jira ticket, and I'm actually going to attach it just by copying and pasting. And that's there and ready to go. Awesome. So there you have it. And that's one way of organizing and arranging your projects. Now, like I said, this isn't a one-size-fits-all to everybody, but we'll always be on hand if you have questions about what's the best way to organize your projects. Also, look forward to, we'll be producing some documentation and some videos about other tips and tricks inside of Zeppelin. So that's a big thank you from me, and I'll be handing over to Matt now to finish up for you.
Thank you, Mallory, for that awesome technical overview, and looking forward to seeing a lot more of this type of content from you. And thanks everybody for attending today. Just to wrap things up, a quick note on how you can get involved in the ZAM community. We've created the ZAM Partner Portal that has a lot of this information, plus a lot more that we'll continually be adding to. And the key takeaways here are that you can visit the Partner Portal, and we've got 3 forms that you can fill out to register a ZAM referral opportunity with one of your customers, to talk about case studies or other stories that you want to tell with us via storytelling, and finally a form to fill out for technical empowerment, challenges that you're facing, opportunities we can help your team get up to speed and become well-versed in all these tips and tricks that Mallory has shared with us. So check out this Partner Portal. We'll send this link around to you as well in the follow-up, and let us know how we can help. And from the entire partner crew here at Zeppelin, we thank you for attending today's webinar and look forward to working with you into the future. Thanks.